What's up guys? Welcome back to Toon, Duelists. In this video I'm going to show you some basic combos of our Chimera, Azamina, Hecahands deck profile, and afterwards we're gonna draw some test hands to show you how this deck really performs. Now in this case it's actually a little bit different, because we play, as you already heard, a deck that consists out of 3 different archetypes. I'm gonna show you some basic combos of each archetype, or one basic combo better said of each archetype, and you will quickly see how those archetypes and how those combos really bridge into each other. And yeah, at least when we draw the test hands, you'll see how this all just works together perfectly. If you want to see how this really works in action, don't forget to check out the Nexus replays we provided for you. And before we dive into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. This would really help us a lot. One small click for you means the world to us, and you can't give us a better Christmas present. So guys, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Alright, we'll start with the basic Chimera combo, and only cards you need is either one Codal or one Mirror Sword Knight. Works pretty easy. If you have Codal, you discard it to search Mirror Sword Knight. If you just have Mirror Sword Knight, you normal summon it, activate its effect, tribute it, and special summon out your Big Wing Berthamment. On summon, Big Wing Berthamment will search Chimera Fusion and Gazelle right here. And of course, now you use Chimera Fusion, use those two to go into your Chimera right here. Now we have 3 effects, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and you can, this one is of course the hand rip. In the end phase with Big Wing Berthamment, you bring back, for example, your Mirror Sword Knight, and with Chimera you can search any illusion monster. This could be the point in the game where you, for example, bridge into your Hecahands, for example. So yeah, that's one of the points where you can bridge into the other engines. And yeah, with Chimera now you can just search, I don't know, Nightmare Apprentice, of course, with more cards in hand, which you will have. This is also amazing, can also then extend and bridge into Hecahands, for example. Now, from this point on, of course, you want to add back Chimera Fusion. And from this point on, it's heavily depending on your hand, basically. Because it really matters what you have in hand and what else you can work with. But if you just end on this, set Chimera Fusion, you're already on a pretty good point. Because while your Chimera is here on the field, you have a target protection. Of course, during your opponent's turn, you will tribute this one just to bring out a Gazelle. Gazelle's effect will activate to add another Chimera Fusion, for example. And yeah, with this game state, you can go into Guardian Chimera. You have 2 monsters on the field, 1 in the hand, so no problem. Monster negate, target negate right here. So yeah, that's it for the basic, really basic Chimera combo you just need to know when playing this deck. For the Azamina side of this deck, you just need a Wanted or a Diabellstar as a starter. I personally, of course, Wanted searches Diabellstar, so it's a 1.5 card combo. You always need something to discard. I personally prefer it though if you only start with Diabellstar, and I'll show you why. You discard your random card and summon out Diabellstar. Now you use Diabellstar's effect and you set your Deception. And you activate Deception and you activate its effect and tribute Diabellstar to search for Hollowed Azamina. Now you can activate Hollowed Azamina for your Moo right here by using those 2. And here's the point why I like to start with Diabellstar a little bit more, because Moo can now on summon, of course, search Wanted. This, if you already activated Wanted, you can of course use it. It's not like it's a real deal, but if you start with Diabellstar, you just thin out your deck a little bit more, and yeah, that's the whole point. Now, of course, in this point or at this point, you want to maybe use your Moo for anything, for a fusion summon, for a link summon, for just anything. So you can use it with Hollowed Azamina. You can of course use it right now, shuffle it back, and add back Hollowed. But of course you want to make use of Moo as good as possible. Then you activate Hollowed Azamina, chain Wanted, and with Wanted you thin out your deck even more and search your copy of Diabellstar, and with Hollowed you use Wanted and go into your Omni Negate right here. And yeah, that's basically where you end. You can of course now also banish Wanted and set Deception under your deck to draw another random card. Alright, doesn't matter. And yeah, that's basically the whole thing with the Azamina line. Alright, and for your basic Hecahands combo, you only need Iptal as a starter. you use Iptal's effect, shuffle it back to the deck, and then special summon out one of your Hecahands monsters. Now I really want to take this chance to just like show you the advantages each of those have and the reason why I run them. Now, going first Goddess is your worst thing to go for, because he can only special summon out of your opponent's graveyard during your opponent's turn. So it's a great hand trap, or it's hand trap-ish, but if you want to extend and you want to go into your combo, Goddess is not the best thing to do, even though snatching out of your opponent's graveyard can be so huge, especially with all the graveyard effects we have today in the game. Then you have Breeze. Breeze is like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you snatch 1 out of 5 cards out of your opponent's hand. So you can't really be sure if there's a monster above, among those, but snatching a hand trap out of your opponent's hand can also, going first, be huge. And Gygas right here looks at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and if there's a monster among it, he'll special summon it. You might want to say, alright, Gygas is the most safe. It depends, I think. If you have an opponent with a full hand, Breeze can actually be pretty amazing because he can choose out of 5, and the chances are of course higher that there's a monster among 5. But of course you have to get it. It's always like a little bit of luck in there. But I would say go for Breeze, especially going first. It's just the possibility to snatch a hand trap. So you go for Breeze, you activate Breeze effect, and let's say we are lucky and we snatch a Ash out of our opponent's hand right here. What you can do now is tribute both and go into your Jawza. And with Jawza, you're now able to add a Hecahands card out of your deck. And out of all the targets we have right here, you probably want to go for one of the counter traps to set up either the spell or the trap negate. With your Jawza on the field, they're both live, and all of them are live, so that's pretty neat. If you go for the monster negate, you have one pretty cool thing going for you, because if you now set it and activate it, you do not only negate and destroy, you also special summon it to your side of the field. So you have a monster back, and next turn with Jawza you can then search for your Tartaros and then go into Xeno, because this can be treated as a Hecahands monster. Jawza obviously is one, and Breeze is also one, so then you can go for Tartaros. Alright guys, that's it for the basic combos. Let's dive into some test hands. Alright guys, test hand number 1. This is gonna be fun. Let's see what we can do with those 5 right here. Alright, that doesn't look too bad at all. In this scenario, you might want to start with your Iptal right here, shuffle it back into the deck and bring out your Breeze. Well, and now we have, of course, the interesting situation where we don't know if we hit a monster in our opponent's hand or if we don't. So, yeah, we'll just have to guess this. I'd say the dice helps in this scenario. I mean, that's all we can do. That's also the reason you should check out the Nexus replays, because there we don't have to guess. So I'll just roll the dice. If it's 1, 2, 3, I miss. If it's 4, 5, 6, I hit. All right, I missed, so no monster coming out of this Breeze right here. Not too bad. We can now normal summon Mirror Sword, and we tribute it to activate its effect and bring out your Big Wing Baphomet, and Baphomet effects activate to add Chimera Fusion and Gazelle, of course. Now we're fusion locked. We have to keep this in mind. We activate Chimera Fusion, fuse those 2 together into your King of Phantom Beasts. We have chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and Big Wing, resolve from the back. So this one is the hand trip, this one searches, and we want to search our Nightmare Apprentice, and with Big Wing Baphomet we special summon from the grave our Mirror Sword Knight, and next up we add back our Chimera Fusion. Next up we're gonna discard our Nibiru to special summon out Nightmare Apprentice and use its effect to search an illusion monster. In this case you add your Cornfield Codal actually, and you now use your Cornfield Codal searching a monster that has Chimera Fusion in its name, which is our Gazelle. And next up, you wanna use Chimera Fusion again. Well, from this point on out, you have various possibilities. You can go down different routes. You can, of course, just set Chimera Fusion and go for Guardian Chimera for interruption, which is actually probably one of the best ideas. I think, yep, that's probably better. You just set Chimera Fusion, you set your Ibel Hecahands, and that's your turn right here. So what do we have on field? Of course, whenever our opponent has his turn, we can use Mirror Sword Knight and special summon out another Gazelle, use the Gazelle's effect and add another Chimera Fusion. And now what do we have? We have our Chimera on field, which means monster negate and target negate in the graveyard. We have a monster negate and steal because we have Breeze on the field. And we have a set Chimera Fusion, which means we can go into Guardian Chimera at any time. We can also, for example, do something else. We could, well, we don't have an illusion monster in the graveyard, but let's just say if he gets rid of Chimera for some reason, we can fuse it away with those two, for example, go into, or we just use those two and use a Gazelle for Guardian Chimera. Let's say we do this. We have two cards on the field. We can pop now and we draw one more card. And with this fusion summon, we have one effect, which is Gazelle. We can add another illusion monster. So we can, for example, just set up with an Iptal for our next turn, or of course, Nightmare Apprentice. And then we still have our Chimera here in the graveyard. We can banish it, bring back Apprentice and have another search for an illusion monster, for example, your Iptal for the next turn. So actually a pretty interactive board and not too bad at all. Alright guys, test hand number 2. Let's see what we can do with those 5. Alright. Let's check this out. This actually looks pretty good. So we're gonna start by testing our luck, Iptal. We're once again, I say, going first. Picking out of 5 is, in my opinion, great, especially having the potential to rip a hand trap. This is probably why this should be the first thing to do. So you use Breeze. Once again, 4, 5, 6 is I hit. 1, 2, 3 is I miss. I miss again. All right. So no special summon right here. Doesn't matter. We discard Codal for search. And in this case, we want to search our Big Wing Baphomet because we might have the chance to get out our Omni this turn. And the fusion log of Big Wing is not a big deal, but it can prevent you from going into your another Omni, which I could have done last turn, for example, if I wasn't locked. Now we use Mirror Sword Knight. We tribute Mirror Sword Knight to special summon out a Gazelle, and Gazelle adds Chimera Fusion. And what we can do now is use Chimera Fusion for the 2 in our hand and go into our King of Phantom Beasts. Chain 1, 2, 3, hand rip, then we have the search, and we're obviously gonna search for Apprentice, and with Big Wing Baphomet, we bring back Mirror Sword Knight into the field. Then of course we add back Chimera Fusion right here. And next thing we can do now is probably bring out Nightmare Apprentice. Discard, special summon, search any illusion monster, which is gonna be Yadel right here. And now in this scenario, you first of all use Yadel, of course, shuffle it into the deck and probably, well, it depends on what you think is more viable. I'd go for the monster negate every time. You can also go for the spell trap negate, of course. Depends on the deck, depends on your own preferences, but we search this one. Now, Chimera Fusion is not really useful because obviously we don't have a monster in hand, so like interrupting with our Guardian Chimera isn't possible. All right, we now use Chimera Fusion and use those two actually to go into your Baphomet. Of course, I was struggling because we can't use the effect of Gazelle right now. That's kind of a shame. But we use Baphomet's effect and we dump our Iptal actually, because Iptal has an interesting effect, because if this card is sent to the graveyard, we can special summon a Hecahands monster in our graveyard So we just bring back Brius, so our counter trap is still live and we didn't lose any material right here. Now you have the choice. You definitely go into Evolzar Lars because, yeah, that's the whole point. The thing is now, those two just work perfectly together once they're in the grave. I'd say you use those two for your Lars, because now what we have on field is a Lars that can now, for an Omni Negate, detach those two. You still have a Chimera on the field all the time, and once he gets rid of this, so you don't have a Chimera anymore, you can just bring out a Chimera, bring back, for example, Nightmare Apprentice, and Baphomet can then bring back Chimera. This is very important because now with this we have Kotal and our Mirror Sword, which we're going to tribute during our opponent's turn, of course, also live. So in this combo, when you do it like this, you have an Omni Negate right here. You at all times have a target and a monster negate. Of course, our Mirror Sword Knight doesn't go for nothing. He brings out our last copy of our Gazelle, which then adds a Chimera fusion, so we have follow-up. And that's not it, we also have a monster negate and steal right here. So once again, pretty decent board actually. Alright guys, test hand number 3, let's see. I would like to have a hand where we can go through all the engines. I don't think we had this. Oh, and I don't think we will with this hand. Okay, drawing 2 of your one-offs, that's nice. Tough one. Now, the Hecahands in this combo won't be used for anything. You have to just say they're great once your opponent adds something to your hand, but kind of mid. So in this scenario, you probably... Well, that's a shame, because drawing 2 Diabellstar is also pretty dumb. We're just gonna dump a Diabellstar to bring out Diabellstar, and we're gonna activate her effect to set Deception. We activate Deception and we tribute. But do we want to tribute Diabellstar? Because we have some useless monsters here. Brius is actually useless. So we tribute Brius. You know what? We're gonna do it like this. Tribute Brius. That's the way to go to search Hollowed Azamina. Next up, we use Hollowed Azamina to go for Moo. On summon effect Moo, we search Wanted. Now we still have the question that we always have, what do we do with Moo? In this scenario, you probably just want to link him away into an SP Little Knight. Of course, you have nothing to banish, but hey, better than nothing and wasting it. We then use Hollowed Azamina, we shuffle back Moo and add it back. We activate Hollowed, we chain Wanted. Wanted adds back a Diabellstar, also from the grave. And with Hollowed, we bring out Ilya Silva, our Omni Negate. And now let's see what the draw we can get out of Wanted has in store for us. Oops. Gonna give the deck a little shuffle. So this goes under the deck and... Ooh, okay. Okay, that's actually not too bad. That's really not too bad. All right, we're gonna normal summon Gazelle, activate its effect and search Chimera Fusion. Okay, we can work with this. Guess Goddess has to go. Because now we're actually gonna go Chimera Fusion, use those two to go for Big Wing Baphomet. We now have chain 1, chain 2. This one dumps, and we're gonna dump an Iptel. And with Gazelle, we search a Nightmare Apprentice. And once this resolves, we have Iptel's effect that special summons back. You know what? We're still going first Brius. And now we can use Brius' effect. Come on, now. We did this twice so far. 1, 2, 3 is miss. 4, 5, 6 is hit. And actually, I think hit is more likely. Yes, we hit. So let's say we just snatch this one out of our opponent's hand. Next thing we want to do is discard Diabellstar to special summon Apprentice, and we're going to search any illusion monster right here, which is going to be your Yadel right here. Of course, we want to add back our Chimera Fusion. Don't forget this. And now we're in for a treat. We can now use those two to go into Jawza. And with Jawza we can now add, actually, we can go for Xeno. We can go for a Xeno turn 1. This is crazy. Oh, ooh, this could go really great. Now question is, you could of course go for Tartaros and go for Xeno, but actually I think you want to add the counter trap. You then use Yardel to search the other one. This is probably just the better thing to do. Even though Xeno steal your opponent's whole board, it's up to you. Let me know in the comments what you would have done. Would you have gone for Tartaros to bring out Xeno or for the counter trap? Let me know. We of course set the 2 counter traps. Now we don't want to use Chimera Fusion. We go into an Xyz summon with those 2 for Lars, and that's where we end it right here. We can set Chimera Fusion if you want to, but honestly, no, you can't even activate it. You don't have a Beast or Fiend anywhere on the field right now, so that's kind of useless. But yeah, that's where we end our turn. We have 1 Omni Negate, 2 Omni Negates. We have a Spell Negate, Spell Trap Negate, Monster Negate, both of them steal. Then we have an SP as Interruption. In the graveyard we have nothing this turn, but still a pretty amazing board. A draw in hand, of course. That's actually pretty good. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like and a subscription. This would really help us a lot. One small click for you means the world to us, and you can't give us a better Christmas present. Then of course don't forget to let me know what you think about those combos and test hands down in the comments below. We always love to read and answer them. Then of course, if you want to get the full Chimera, Azamina, Hecahands experience, don't forget to check out the deck profile video as well as the Nexus replays, so you know really what this deck can do. And yeah guys, I'd say until next time, have a good one.